So I decide to become an internist and a mommy at the same time in my life. Am I going bananas, right? But I'm 30 years old, and I believe, truly do, that impossible is nothing. And on top of it, you know how the biological clock, it's ticking, right? So we live in Bethlehem, which is like an hour north of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. And I'm training in the hospital there. You see, I've always wanted to be a doctor because my dad worked in the pharmaceutical industry, and a lot of our family friends were doctors. And I was astounded growing up by the passion and the gratitude they continued to feel towards their profession. So this hospital, it's a 3-year intensive training program, right? So I am working days and nights and weekends and holidays, and I'm learning a lot. Your CPR, your advanced life support, your diabetes, your hypertension, congestive heart failure, HIV, you name it. Which means I don't sleep much, and I don't care, because I love every minute of it. And then at home, I am a mommy, yep. We have a precious, sweet, adorable little baby boy. And I feed him, and I bathe him, and I watch him smile. You know how babies, they have that smile when you're asleep? So I stay up just to capture that smile. And when I do, I am in heaven. But then moments later, I smell the poop. The essential diaper calls, right? So and I respond to each diaper call rather promptly, which means I don't sleep much, and I don't care, because I love being a mommy. I love every minute of it too. So, living the dream, right? Or so I tell myself, because somewhere in the back of my mind, there's this constant nagging fear. How is he doing when I'm not around? What am I missing? And God knows what is he missing, right? So every day in the morning, I take this bundle of joy and I drop him to the daycare, which is conveniently located right next to my hospital. And they call me frequently, you know, daycares, right? They always do. Mommy, you gotta be here now, like ASAP now, to pick up your son, because he's sick with like some snoot or something. So I scramble, I find a fellow resident to take my pager so they can watch my patients, and then I run to the daycare. I pick him up, I put him on my lap, and I call my husband. Now my husband works an hour and a half away, because his job is flexible, mine called for nights and emergencies, so we've decided to live closer to the hospital. And a couple of hours later, our precious, sweet, adorable little baby boy who is sick is sent home to be with his daddy and not with his doctor mommy. And I allow that to happen just so I can be a doctor. And I put him in that daycare where I know he's gonna get sick, just so I can be a doctor. So guilty as charged. Shabby, shabby mommy. So 3 years go by, and today is my last day of training, and I graduate tomorrow. So I say my goodbyes, and I walk over to the daycare to pick him up. He looks happy from a distance, and Jessica, she sees me coming. She picks him up, brings him to the door. And I've got my arms extended wide open so he can spring into my arms. But no, he turns around, clinging to Jessica and not wanting to come to his mommy. And it occurs to me that I have failed miserably in one of my 2 goals at becoming a good mother like my mother. Eventually, we do go home after I snatch him. But I can't sleep at night. I toss and I turn and I reflect. My patients, the hospital staff, they all seem to want me and respect me, and I feel loved. Will he love me? I wonder. And then I begin to despise Jessica, the one that looks after him when I don't. And then I despise myself for that. What went so wrong? Sun rises, the next day. It is graduation. And I'm dressed in this crisp white blouse, and they pin an elegant corsage on it. And I'm fake smiling and shaking hands and posing for pictures. And the graduation, the ceremony, is in this big auditorium. And the musical ensemble sings, "You can climb every mountain." I am not feeling it. I'm feeling pretty much down in the dumps. And then they call my name, and I walk up on the stage towards my mentor, Dr. Malikoff. He's going to hand me my diploma, right? "Congratulations, Dr. Deshpande. Great job." Yeah, all right. I walk completely defeated. And suddenly, this quiet auditorium is filled with a loud sound. "Mommy, Mommy." And everyone looks, and I look, and there is our baby boy with his arms extended wide open, wanting his mommy. And I realize I have gotten 2 cherished diplomas in that moment. And this doc mommy ain't looking that shabby any longer. Thank you.